The work begins early every day all around the Carpenter Complex. March is for fine-tuning, and the work continues while small steps are taken toward the 2016 season. The Phillies' next step is inside Bright House Field, and they welcome the visiting Atlanta Braves. Spring training is a time to get to know some of the new players. Cameron Rupp going over the signs with Jeremy Hellickson. For the fans, they'll get to know some of the Phillies' younger players and some of the veterans. And how about Swanson, the #1 overall pick by the Arizona Diamondbacks, now with the Atlanta Braves? Get a chance to sign some autographs here this afternoon as the Atlanta Braves come down from Orlando to take on the Phils. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy, joined by Matt Stairs and Ben Davis. As we get set for this afternoon's game, it's our first look at Jeremy Hellickson in a Phillies uniform, a guy that the Phillies saw last year with the Arizona Diamondbacks, and a guy, Ben, that's going to be part of this rotation moving forward for the Phils.
He will be, and what he will provide is some stability and some depth in this pitching staff, and one that can provide some more innings for the Phillies starting pitching. The Phillies bullpen got beat up last year for the simple fact that the starters weren't getting them into later innings. 5th, 6th, even 7th inning. These guys were coming out early in the games. Hellickson's a guy that will throw a lot of strikes. He will give you a lot of innings and save some of that bullpen.
Now, we know that the youngsters, Aaron Nola and Jarrett Eichhoff, are expected to be part of the rotation. Jeremy Hellickson joins another veteran, Charlie Morton, who was over from the Pittsburgh Pirates. And then if you add the mixture of an Adam Morgan, of a David Buchanan, of others that have been acquired since this offseason, they will take over the #5 spot. So what about Morton and Hellickson? We asked Bob McClure, what do they bring to the table?
Well, they're both, veteran presence, strike throwers, change speed guys. Morton's a big ground ball guy. And so I expect from them, a leadership factor, a leadership role. The young pitchers can't ask me every question because I'm not in the game with them. Hellickson has faced the guy 20 times. Here he is in spring training. It's invaluable information from a pitcher standpoint.
Well, from a pitching standpoint, as Ben said, it's important to get deep into games. But for the Phillies, based on last year, Matt, it's also important to run the bases better. Pete Maccannon's talked to us about that these first couple weeks of spring training.
Well, it's one thing about running the bases, but it's running the bases smart. Last year they struggled really bad on the bases. Dumb base running, sliding past the bases, get tagged out. But this year they're very aggressive on the bases, which I absolutely love. It puts the pressure on the defense right here. Knapp hits the line drive to left field. Borges doesn't even hesitate. He goes first to third. You put the pressure on. Now all of a sudden you got a guy in the scoring position. What they're really emphasizing on is coming out of the batter's box, thinking two right away. Freddie Galvis, it's a regular line drive up the middle, miscommunication, but he does not hesitate coming around first base. That's the reason why you can get into second base extremely well. The harder you run the bases and the smarter you run the bases, it puts pressure on the pitcher. Now he has to become a ground ball pitcher. The defense has to be on they can't be on their heels anymore. They have to be on their toes. So I love the aggressiveness, and that's why every morning they're out there working the first and third, being aggressive, running the bases the way they're supposed to.
The other thing Pete pointed out yesterday was Odubel Herrera coming out of the box thinking 3 instead of 2. He said that was one of the most impressive base running skills of the afternoon yesterday for the Phils. So this afternoon, the Phils will take on these Atlanta Braves. We'll see Hellickson. On the flip side, the Braves have a lot of young arms, including Lucas Sims, a former #1 pick. First pitch, lineups, and everything else when we come back. Ball here at Bright House Field. The Phils and the Atlanta Braves, they will face each other more than a dozen times during the regular season, but today is the first opportunity this afternoon here in Clearwater for these two teams to face off. Let's take a look at the Braves lineup. It's brought to you by Xfinity. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV. Inciarte, Ibar, and Swisher, followed by Adonis Garcia, Hector Oliveira. Matt Tuiasosopo will be in right field batting 6th. The bottom third of Peterson, Brignac, and the catcher Schlehuber will be behind the plate, and they will face right-hander Jeremy Hellickson, the 28-year-old from Des Moines, Iowa, making his first appearance this spring, although he pitched in the exhibition game against Tampa, and he looked fine. He'll go a couple innings here today. 9 wins last year, and, well, Ben, they need him to probably do almost the same this year, if not a little bit better.
They do, and they need him to eat up some innings. A couple starting pitchers for the Phillies last year were not able to do that. You see a scouting report. He will touch the mid-90s. Changeup is one of his better pitches. As long as he's working down in the zone, he will have some success.
Well, the Atlanta Braves, much like the Phillies, are going to continue to rebuild with some youth during the upcoming season. Freddie Gonzalez, their skipper. He has some veterans like Nick Swisher, who you see right there, but Swisher's time with the Braves is probably winding down. Like Michael Bourne's time with the Braves is probably winding down as well. They've made some deals over the last year or so to get rid of some of their veteran players like Andrelton Simmons and bring over some younger players to help recoup the farm system. Pete McCann and his team struggled offensively here yesterday, but up in Tampa did not struggle. So the Phillies come into this ball game with 1 win, 2 losses, and 1 tie during spring training baseball. So here we go. Ender Inciarte over from the Arizona Diamondbacks, the former Phil, even for a short period of time. Last year hit .303 with 6 home runs and 45 runs batted in. And he's expected to be near the top of the order, if not in the leadoff spot, once the season rolls around. So the first pitch of the day on a gorgeous afternoon for baseball. Fastball inside. Marty Foster is the home plate umpire. Inciarte was part of the Shelby Miller deal. Shelby Miller went to the Arizona Diamondbacks. There's Marty Foster, who is calling balls and strikes today. Mark Carlson at first. Dan Iasonia is at second. And DJ Rayburn around at third. 2 balls, no strikes to Inciarte. At the knees, 2-1.
It's just weird looking at that 58 out there and not seeing Papelbon on the back of a jersey.
Way inside, 3 balls and 1 strike.
You can see Hellickson, a very deliberate windup, but he does have a very quick arm. The ball does get on you. I never liked that from a hitting standpoint. A guy with a slow motion, and then all of a sudden the ball seemed to really jump on you.
Former Rookie of the Year in the American League, won 13 games back in 2011 with the Tampa Bay Rays. So we saw him last year, of course, as we saw in the highlights in Arizona. That ball is looped out toward right field. On the run is Aaron Altair. He dives, and it's off the heel of his glove. Inciarte can run. He's on his way to second, and he'll stop there. And that'll be a leadoff double for Ender Inciarte.
Nice effort by Altair. I didn't think he had a chance when that ball came off the bat. He actually had it, and it bounced out and hit the ground. Right there. Good effort. That's one thing we'll be talking about the outfielders this year is the amount of range they have and how much field they can cover.
Yeah, that's a good thing. Even today's outfield, Lowe, Goodell, and Altair, all 3 can run. Eric Ibar over from the LA Angels of Anaheim. Ibar spent his entire career with the Angels. 1,223 hits. He takes outside, 1 ball and no strikes. He was acquired from the Angels in the Simmons deal. See his career numbers. Last year he had 270 with the Angels, 3 home runs, 44 runs batted in. That ball is roped down the right field line. That'll be in for an extra base hit, and the Braves will take the lead. Ibar will pull him to second. It'll be an RBI double as Inciarte will score. And it's 1-0 Atlanta here in the top of the first. It's got to be a pretty good feeling right there. He was right on that pitch. It was up in the zone, and he just whacked it toward the corner.
Yeah, it's a pitch up in the zone. He wants to hit the ball to right field. Gets a bonus out of it. Gets a double and an RBI. Ibar with a very nice swing. The perfect 2-hole hitter for any team. He can bunt, he can hit and run, and you can see what he just did there. Advance runners over from second to third and get them in.
That'll bring Nick Swisher to the plate. It was not a good year for Swisher last year. 46 of his games were played in Atlanta. He had 195. Like a lot of guys that come to spring training, he is healthier than he was a season ago. Winding down the final year of a 4-year contract that he signed with the Cleveland Indians. He traded him to the Braves. Looks at foul and out of play. .73 degrees today. The wind has picked up over the last hour or so, and it's moving pretty good from left to right.
I don't know if you want to really talk about the degrees today with the folks back home. A little bit of snow this morning and kind of rubbing it in, Tom.
It was not my intention, Ben, to rub it in. 1 ball, 1 strike. That ball's pulled foul past Terry Pendleton.
I want to get a glove up there.
One ball and 2 strikes to Nick Swisher. He'll be followed by Adonis Garcia. In the dirt, blocked by Rupp with a runner trying to go to third base. Ibar, and he'll get there. Pretty good reactions by Ibar. That ball didn't trickle away too far, but he had a good secondary lead.
One thing that did help him there was the fact that the ball went to the right off of Cameron Rupp. You can see it get back behind Nick Swisher here. So he's got to contend with the batter, and then it makes for that much of a longer throw. But the secondary lead by Ibar is very good. See that ball in the dirt? You have the wheels. You're going to make it to third.
And his decision making after that secondary lead, too. Phillies have played the infield back here in the first inning, down 1-0, looking for an out. Good pitch. And Hellickson gets that out. Swisher strikes out for the first one.
And you see him, he never really comes to a full stop. He gets a little bit of that momentum onto that right foot, so then he can just plant and burst with speed to third base.
Third, Adonis Garcia, the batter, the 30-year-old who the Braves signed last year after he was released by the Yankees. He wound up hitting 10 home runs, 26 runs batted in for Atlanta. He didn't do a whole lot against the Phillies. The Phillies saw him a lot. Takes down and away, a little change up, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. Hellickson battling a little bit of command here to start the game. 4 batters faced, no first pitch strikes.
You know, and you mentioned, Tom, about Garcia last year. Didn't hit the Phillies real well last year. Scouting report was tremendous. They threw a lot of soft pitches, back-to-back changeups right there. When they tried to throw the fastball, they like to elevate versus him. So early in the season last year, or late in the season, they also had a very good scouting report on him, which is carrying over so far.
Tatted side there, 2 balls, 1 strike. Hellickson last year, his best month was the month of July. He made 4 starts for the D-backs, was 2-1 with a 1.88 ERA. Pitched very well against the Phillies that day in Arizona. He actually was the one who cost Maikel Franco the rest of his season when he hit him with a pitch. See that gold band on his Rawlings glove. He is a former Gold Glove winner. He shared that award with Jake Peavy one season. Swing and a miss. He got it with a breaking ball. Ruff will look the runner back and complete the strikeout. So back-to-back strikeouts for Hellickson. Well, you're right, Matt, about the scouting report. I mean, they pitched him perfectly.
They did. They never threw one fastball in the zone. Changeup after changeup. He drops the nasty curveball on to put him on white. Very good scouting report.
And that's where having a catcher that you have that amount of trust in, where he can get down and block a baseball, knowing, you know what, I don't have to hang this. I know I can bury this. I know my catcher's got my back there.
And now he can see his way through this against Oliveira, and he throws his first pitch strike, and it's no balls and 1 strike. Starts him off with something soft. The hands out toward left center field. Both the left fielder Lowe and the center fielder Goodell got good jumps, and you can hear them both calling for it. Bottom of the first inning, the Braves scored 1 run in their half of the first. Let's take a look at the Phillies lineup. It's brought to you by Xfinity. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV. Leading it off in center field, Tyler Goodell. David Lowe bats second, then Maikel Franco will hit third. Ryan Howard bats cleanup once again. See his career numbers against the Braves. Then Altair, Williams, Sweeney, Ryan Jackson, and the catcher Cameron Rupp will wind it down. They'll face 21-year-old right-hander Lucas Sims. This young man's got a big arm. Last year he was 7-6 at Double-A with an ERA of 4.37. The opposition, look at what the opposition hit against him. They hit a $1.80 against him. How was his ERA that high?
those big hits.
54 walks didn't help either.
Well, that's true.
You can see the scouting report. Has a very good arm. 90s is 2-seamers, 4-seamer, 96, 3-pitch pitcher, and he was a first-round draft pick in 2012 for the Braves.
Graduated from Brookwood High School in Snellville, Georgia, which is in Gwinnett County, and only 45 minutes from Turner Field. Facing Tyler Goodell, who had a good day yesterday against the Yankees. Overall this spring, he has 2 hits and 4 at-bats. 23-year-old Rule 5 pick by the Phillies out of the Tampa Bay Rays organization. Upstairs, 1-2. Tyler was also a first-round pick of the Rays back in 2011. Grounds that one toward third. And Garcia's up with it. And he throws him out. But I think you got a glimpse of one of the things the Phillies are excited about with Goodell, his speed. Garcia took a little bit of extra time and then looked up and thought, I better get rid of this ball. Pete Buchanan was excited to see Tyler play today because he was sick the first couple of days of games, and Pete was here while Goodell was up in Tampa yesterday. As David Lowe takes outside. Lowe is a 30-year-old who has played 312 games, I should say, in the big leagues during his career with Kansas City and Baltimore. He was a 2-sport athlete in college. He went to Mercyhurst College, which is in Erie, Pennsylvania. Check swing, foul ball, and out of play.
Couldn't imagine playing baseball in the spring in Erie.
Imagine playing it toward the beginning of the summer. Up high. Well, and I guess what you were saying even about the weather back home today. College baseball, high school baseball practices for a lot of teams have just begun, so you're barely getting outside. Rudder at first. Here comes Maikel Franco. Hit a long home run yesterday. Matt, you were watching the highlights of it today, right? Is that what you were watching?
No, I was actually watching Altair's home run. He hit.
Oh, right.
Down Eden.
That's right. Franco hit 14 home runs last year. 3 home runs in winter ball, and he was hunting for Frenchie's Tiki Bar right there.
That last pitch was
104
miles an hour.
Changeup.
That's what it said on the big screen out there in left center.
And on TV as well.
I think they have to make some adjustmts.
Maybe recalculate.
A high fly ball, left center field. Coming in is Inciarte. And there are 2 outs.
Matt, you mentioned it the other day, but that right there is one of those pitches. If you're in midseason form, that ball is going to be annihilated. And that's just something to stay back just a hair longer. You can see the pitch. This is a hanging breaking ball. And it says, hit me! And you pop it up.
I had a long talk with Pete about that today, about timing. You know, we were talking about some of the plays in yesterday's ball game. And I was telling him what some of the stuff we were saying is the runner goes and Lowe is out at second base. And I will continue that story in the next half inning, or maybe in the bottom of the second.
I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you, Matt. I appreciate that. We'll be back to Clearwater right after this. We start the top of the second, and Matt Tuiasosopo will lead it off. He takes a strike. I don't know if you guys remember this or not. When Tuiasosopo was with the Tigers, I thought he was going to turn into an everyday player for them in left field as they were making their transition from some of their veterans to some of their younger players. Swing and a miss. 244 with the Whites for the Tigers, excuse me, in 2013. Last year he was in the White Sox organization. 18 homers, 52 runs batted in. And he is down looking on strikes. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. Well, Aaron Altair has been lifted from this ball game. He's in the dugout holding his wrist, and he was relieved of his duties with Cedric Hunter going out to play right field. He dove for that ball. As you see the miscommunication to end the last inning, and Lowe looks like he was Ian Goodell were a little slow to get out of that trot. But for Altair, his was on the Inciarte double, where he dove and it was off his heel. And he must have done something as he went to the ground. We'll try to get you an update on that. Hopefully it's nothing serious. I think that's one of the things in spring training that you always hold your breath is if somebody gets banged up.
The day on the calendar says March 4th, so there's no reason to keep running him out there in case it is worse than we think.
Here's Jace Peterson. The count 1-1 strike. Peterson, second baseman for the Braves. Should be out there every day. A guy they acquired a season ago from the Padres. Whacks that foul, and it's 1-2. Here's that dive we're talking about.
Kind of rolls on it a little bit right there. That's where he was kind of touching and rubbing it in the dugout.
And now the 1-2 pitch coming to Jace Peterson. Off speed pitch, pretty close. 2-2. That's a good sign that he's in the dugout still and hasn't put any ice or anything on it.
Come on, Marty.
Swing and a miss. He got him with an off-speed pitch. That's 4 strikeouts for Hellickson. So 2 away, and Reed Brignac is coming up.
Really nice straight change here by Hellickson. It just comes out of his hand. You think it's a fastball. Comes out of his hand hot, and then it just puts the brakes on. See Peterson way out in front. Good movement. Late movement on that changeup there.
It's kind of what Bob was talking about during our open. That's what he needs to do to be effective. Former Phil Reed Brignac. Opposite foul. And out of play.
In that first inning, he did struggle with fastball command, locating early and getting strikes with that fastball. Sign of a good pitcher is that can go to his alternate pitches. Throw that breaking ball for a strike. Throw that changeup for a strike. First 4 batters, no first pitch strikes. Next 4 first pitch strikes. Making adjustments. Hitters make adjustments. Pitchers make adjustments.
I'll give you a chance to heap some praise on catchers. Is that Cameron Rupp who's doing that? Is making sure that he throws that other pitch if the fastball's not working?
Yeah. Bottom line is you have to get ahead. No matter how you do it. I don't care if you roll it up there. Well, that wouldn't be a strike. But if you underhand it and it's Ephus pitch, you have to get ahead. And if the heater's not doing it, then mix in a breaking ball or a changeup, and that's what he's able to do.
Well, he's ahead, no balls and 2 strikes here. 32 pitches so far, an inning and 2/3 in the books. And now the 0-2 pitch. A little high. Got him. Fouled it up a little bit there. He struck out the side. 1 looking, 2 swinging. 5 strikeouts overall through the first 2 innings for Jeremy Hellickson. We've completed 1.5 onto the bottom of the second. It's the Braves 1 and the Phillies nothing. Blue headed to Dallas for their season opener. Philadelphia Union at FC Dallas Sunday afternoon at 3 right here on TCN, the Comcast network. You drive into the compound here, the beginning part of the complex. You'll see the Phillies banners, but also next to it you'll see the Union banners because they were working out down here in Clearwater before the start of their season. Jeremy Hellickson is probably done after 2 innings. That is Andrew Bailey, who was warming up in the pen. Ryan Howard leads it off. Howard was up when David Lowe was thrown out trying to steal. At the bottom of the first inning. Talking about timing of hitters during that moment as Howard waves at the 1-0 pitch. And Pete today was saying that he may do things a little differently these first few days of spring training because he wants hitters to get their timing down. He said there was a point yesterday where he was thinking about bunting and he thought, you know what, I'm not going to bunt here. I want to see if I want to let this hitter, I think it was Freddie Galvis, let this hitter, no, it was Cesar Hernandez actually, let this hitter get his timing down. You might get a fastball here. We'll see if he can time it. We had that at bat yesterday where Cesar, 2 batters had just walked, and Cesar swung at the first pitch. And I asked Pete about that. He said, no, I told him to. He said, I figured he was going to throw him a fastball there. He said, so I wanted to see if he can catch up to it, get his timing down on that particular pitch. He said, I may have later on this spring or during the season told him to take because the guy was all over the place. He said, but that was me that told him to take a hack at it. As Howard strikes out. One away. Cedric Hunter's coming up. This is Aaron Alter's spot in the lineup. What do you got, Murph?
Well, as you saw on the replay, I just talked to Aaron Alter as he came in and headed into the clubhouse. I said, are you all right? He said, yeah, I'm all right. He said, I think I just tweaked it a little bit. I rolled on it a little bit. But in his words, he's all right. He's going to, as you guys said, better safe than sorry on March 4th. They're going to take him in, take a quick look at it, make sure he is all right. But they seem to be in good spirits as he came by and headed back into the clubhouse. So that is certainly good news for Aaron Alter.
All right, Murph, we appreciate that as Cedric Hunter takes outside 2-0. Hunter has 2 RBIs so far in the first few days of spring. He is from the Atlanta Braves organization, where last year hit .283 with 12 home runs, 77 runs batted in. Upstairs, 3-0. Phillies picked him up late in the offseason. From all reports, though, it was a good pickup. Not only because of potential for depth, but potential if there is an issue where they'll need somebody to come up or even make the team out of spring training. He's got some abilities.
I like his approach. I really do. He has a very good idea what he wants to do. And he swings it hard.
He does not get cheated.
No, he does not.
Which you love.
Oh, absolutely.
Williams, who walked a couple times yesterday, takes the first pitch low, 1-0.
Let's get back in the conversation about getting your timing down in spring training. You face, you have young players on the field. They want to get the hit. They think getting hits is going to be what impresses coaches, fans, whatever it's going to be. That's why you see a lot of veterans take pitches early in spring training. That gets your timing down. You go up there and say, I'm going to take the first pitch. You can sit there and take the first pitch and pretend you're going to hit it and go through your stance and follow it all the way in. That's how you get your timing down. It's great getting a knock your first at bat, your first pitch.
Diving stop by Peterson. They'll get the out at first. Awfully close.
But I'm a firm believer in spring training. The more pitches that you can see in a game, it's going to help you later on in spring training. And I understand that the young kids want to impress people, and they want to get up there and they just want to swing the bat hard. But when you know you're going to be playing, or you know you're going north, or whatever it is, take more pitches. Get your timing down. Now, some other people might think a different approach at it. Ben might be different when he played.
I think for every spring over the last handful of years, we've talked about Chase Utley and how he would take a lot of pitches to get himself ready for the upcoming season.
Right.
I think a lot has to do with how much you trust yourself as a hitter. Some guys don't mind hitting with 2 strikes or getting down in the count. I personally never liked it. I liked, obviously, work a count to your favor. If I saw something good to hit, I tried to do it, because I wouldn't say that I didn't trust myself, but I didn't trust myself like some of the veterans that I had played with.
Tony Gwynn.
Wow. It's a whole different animal there.
2 balls and 1 strike to Darnell Sweeney. Sweeney 3 home runs last year with the Phils after coming over from the Dodgers. So far 0 for 4 in spring games. And he lines that one into right field, a base hit. Rounding third, heading for home is Hunter. He'll score without a throw. And the Phils have tied this ball game up at 1. Oh, no worries about timing right there for Darnell Sweeney. He was right on it.
Well, one thing about Darnell Sweeney, he takes a lot of pitches. And he got back into a hitter's count. First pitch was a strike. All of a sudden, boom, you're back into a 2-1 count. Now all of a sudden you get a cookie right down the middle. He's been swinging the bat very well this spring. The numbers haven't shown. Look, that head down through the baseball. Big RBI knock.
The runner at first, 1 run in. Ryan Jackson is the batter. The inside corner. Jackson has played in 39 games in his big league career. St. Louis and the LA Angels of Anaheim. Takes outside. One ball, 1 strike.
You can see that Sims has the stuff. And you said that hitters, opposing hitters last year, and hit 118 against him. Perfect example right there. Walks Hunter, goes to second on the fielder's choice, and then Sweeney knocks him in. That's how, despite only hitting 118, that's how runs are scored. And he's thrown some pitches this inning. He made some excellent pitches to Ryan Howard. He's thrown some good ones here, and like you said, though, Matt, Sweeney was able to get back into a good hitter's count with a good swing on. When you're looking for a heater and you get it, you don't miss it.
Sweeney was going, then stopped. The pitch is fouled back. And it's 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Everyone has a different approach of hitting wise, and I'm a firm believer. You see here, Sweeney had a good jump, just went a little too early. I'm a firm believer when a pitcher throws a first pitch strike, there's a very good chance you're going to be back in a 2-1 count. And it happened with Jackson, and it happened with Sweeney. Another good read in the ball in the dirt. Very nice read. That's what we talked about in the open, being aggressive, running smart. Secondary lead, he's getting off. Recognizes in the dirt, boom, he's gone.
Boy, that was great instinct on his part.
That's as good as you're going to see.
Yeah. And just getting back real quick, the first pitch strike. Well, just watch how many times you see first pitch strike, all of a sudden, boom, you're back in a 2-1 hitter's count.
And he walks him, so that'll put runners on first and second. Second walk of the inning. 3rd walk overall. Well, I guess we're getting an indication, as you guys alluded to, of where some of his issues were, as Roger McDowell will run out to the mound.
It's a beautiful thing. If you're Cameron Rupp right here, I know this sounds silly to maybe to some of the listeners at home, but you get to hit in a situation, runners in scoring position. There's 2 outs, but from a catching standpoint, you don't have to stop what you're doing, go and put your gear on, come back, catch an inning, and then come back, take your gear off, and then lead off the next inning.
Not know that's where you were going to go.
That's where I went with it, Tom.
Try playing right field, and you got to run all the way up there and then lead off an inning later in your career. And they got the clock nowadays.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just getting in when the clock hits 0 or 0
You have to take off any gear, though.
I had no idea that's where you were going to go.
That's where I went, Tom.
I thought you were talking about the pitching coach making it a visit.
You're going to get a certain pitch that you can just jump on like he does right there, and he rolls it right up the middle. That's a base hit. Sweeney's heading home. The throw to the plate is a dud, and the Phillies take a 2-1 lead. And now Cameron Rupp doesn't have to go back to the dugout with his head down to put his catcher gear on. He can go back to the dugout eventually with a hop in his step.
That's right. Hit balls hard up the middle. That's what Cameron Rupp does. Ball actually got in on it a little bit, but he pulled his hands through. Knob first. Drives it up the middle. Quick infield.
Here's Goodell up for the second time. He grounded out his first time up. Tyler Goodell, who was a former infielder, who the Rays moved to the outfield. And I guess that shows his athleticism. In fact, that's one of the reasons that the Phillies were attracted to him as a Rule 5 selection. Now, they're going to watch him this spring, and there's a chance they offer him back to Tampa. That's how the Rule 5 works, unless the Phillies keep him up in the big leagues for the entire year. But they liked the fact, Mike Ondo, who's the director of pro scouting for the Phillies, who was overseeing the Rule 5 selections, said the fact that he was athletic enough to move from shortstop and third to the outfield was one of the things that attracted the Phillies to Goodell. And plus he could play all three outfield positions. And I think that this is a great comparison for any young player, particularly somebody coming from the Rays, when you compare him to a Ben Zobrist. I mean, if you get productivity out of Goodell like the Rays and the Royals, and now the Cubs have gotten out of Zobrist. 1-2 pitch. Tried to hold up. Did he go? No. Ooh. 2-2.
Full fucking swing, Mark. Holy shit.
Close.
I don't know how he held up. There it again, 3-2. This is probably the last batter for Sims. Even if he doesn't get out of this inning, I'm sure he's going to be lifted. But if he gets out of it, he's done after 2. Runners go. Pitch is whacked down the right field line, and it is a fair ball going to the corner. It stays in play. 2 runs will score. Goodell's on his way to third. Nope, he's going to put the brakes on. It's a 2-run double, and the Phils take a 4-1 lead. A little better productivity here at Bright House Field today than yesterday.
Well, and that's just a very good at bat. Laying off a couple pitches in the dirt. Gets back to a 3-2 count. Fastball up in the zone. Hits it to the opposite field. Make sure he stays back. Drives it nice. Huge 2-out knock. Now Cameron can go back, get a drink of water, and put on the equipment.
And won't be rushed to get back out there.
Will not be rushed.
It's a great feeling, isn't it, Ben?
The best.
Lucas Sims, his day is done. The Braves will go to the bullpen here as Victor Mateo will be the new pitcher after Tyler Goodell's 2-run double. The Phillies are up 4-1. Well, with 2 outs here in the second inning, the Phillies have dipped into the Braves bullpen just a little earlier than expected. Victor Mateo, 27 games last year in the minor leagues. He won 10 of them. He came out of the bullpen in 2 of those 27. He's on for Lucas Sims, and he'll face David Lowe with a runner at second base. Mateo delivers inside. 1 ball and no strikes. Lowe walked his only time up.
good adjustment from yesterday's game to today's game. Better at bats with runners in scoring position. You got to love having 3 knocks with 2 outs in this inning.
Yeah, the Phillies just couldn't get that knock yesterday. They were 1 for 14 with runners in scoring position. As that one's off the end of the bat, foul over the screen. Now that was the story here. The story up in Tampa, the runners in scoring position numbers were much better, and that does count toward the Phillies' totals. In the dirt, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
That's a busy man today. There are a lot of balls in the dirt.
Well, Schlehuber is one of the young catchers that the Braves have in their system.
Not one's gotten by him.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Off the end of the bat, foul again. Over toward the screen. I think overall the approach has been good, running some deeper counts.
I would agree. I've seen a ton of change-ups so far in the first 2 innings from both sides.
That's one thing Matt Klentak discussed in our meeting the other day. Control the strike zone on both sides of the ball.
That's one of the things when we asked him about, styles and what he's hoping for. Even from his standpoint, what he's looking for is controlling the strike zone on both ground balls, putting the ball in play.
I wasn't the one throwing the ball, but just from a catcher's standpoint, it was frustrating as heck for me to just keep putting fingers down. These guys would lay off pitches. They'd foul balls off. You walk into those ball clubs like that, and what do I do? What approach are we trying to do to get these guys out? They're fouling balls off. They're taking the close pitches. It was very frustrating from my aspect behind the dish.
Well, that's 4 walks the Phillies have drawn in this afternoon's ball game. The 1 in the first, and now 3 here in the seconds. And now Maikel Franco, who flied to center, shallow center, is only time up. Up there with 2 runners on, he takes low. It's 1-0. Outside, 2 balls and no strikes.
What I've seen from some of these hitters today is even when they are getting down, they're still taking the same approach. Soft on their stride foot. There's no panic. They're not rushing out there. They're seeing pitches all the way in. Green light, Matt?
Absolutely.
I think this is going to be a blinking green light. You mentioned it before. He just missed the last pitch in his last at bat when he takes on the outside corner. That may have been a strike, but that's not a 3-0 strike that he wants to swing at.
Good point. Nasty 3-0 pitch.
Oh boy, look out, everybody above and beyond Frenchie's Tiki Bar. Woohoo! Boy, if the wind wasn't blowing from left to right, that would have been way out of the ballpark. It's still a home run, though, a 3-run shot. And the Phillies now lead it 7-1. Second home run of the spring for Franco.
Maikel that Marty Foster called that 3-0 a strike. What a swing. Talk about getting your foot down early and the extension through the baseball.
Through the wind.
Yeah, if this was yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
Oof. Here's Ryan Howard. The Phillies have batted around. Howard struck out to start the inning. No balls and 1 strike to Ryan. Over 2, he tied him up. So 6 of the runs charged to Lucas Sims that were allowed here this afternoon. I should say 5 of the runs. So we're going to miss, and Howard strikes out. So a strikeout to start and finish the second inning for Rhino. But the Phillies scored 7 runs in the inning, capitalizing on the free passes, but also getting a couple of clutch 2-out hits, including a double by Tyler Goodell, and then the 3-1 pitch to Maikel Franco that he did not miss. His second home run of the spring, and the Phillies lead it 7-1 as we go to the third. Came on a 3-run bomb by Maikel Franco.
Location and barrel to the ball. Nice, easy swing. And Ben mentioned earlier about how the hitters are nice and soft in that front foot. Getting an extension and driving it deep to left field.
Boy, if you were Mateo, you probably should have tried to throw that same pitch that you got the strike 1 on instead of coming back inside like that.
Or hoping the 3-0 pitch was called a ball.
Or that. Second home run in as many days for Maikel Franco. Phillies have made a couple of changes as we go to the top of the third inning. Brock Stassi is the new first baseman. He'll take over for Ryan Howard and Andrew Bailey. Out of Paul VI High School in Haddonfield will take over, pitching for the Phillies. Former Rookie of the Year for the Oakland A's, 2-time All-Star. He had 2 years combined, his first 2 years combined, when he saved 51 games for the A's. Couple that with the 24 the next year. I mean, that was a pretty good 3-year run. He is healthy and hoping to claim the Phillies closer's role along with a couple of other veterans. Facing Schlehuber. Swing and a miss. 0-2. That was Casey Kelly warming up in the Braves bullpen. And a high fastball swung on and missed. That's 4 straight strikeouts for Phil's pitching. And the first one for Bailey. His career 89 saves. And all of that guy's in the American League with an ERA of 2.74. I know we talk about ERA a lot in the American League, but that's a pretty good ERA.
That's because that's what he did right there. Get 2 strikes. He knows how to elevate. He knows how to pitch. Plus, it was 96, 97 back in the day as well.
And he may not be 96, 97, but he's up there.
He is. I mean, the first 2 pitches he threw 92, 93, and it had like a little natural cutter.
Here's Ensei Arte, shows bunt, takes high. He's also got a pretty good tempo going out on the mound. Ensei Arte doubled and scored the run for the Braves on the outside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike. Andrew is now 31 years old. He'll be 32 at the end of May this year. Like Greg Burke yesterday, excited about the opportunity to play for the team he rooted for growing up. He was talking about uniforms the other day, keeping uniforms. This is one that I think he's looking forward to keeping. You know, the fact that he'll always have that Phillies uniform up in his house. That one's over our heads. 2-2.
I think a lot of these guys in camp are realizing there is opportunity here, and that's why they're excited to be in this camp. I think that's why you're seeing the overall hustle, the energy that pretty much each and every individual is bringing every day. Out toward right field. Starting back was Hunter. Now he comes in.
And there are 2 outs. Nick Williams gazing from the bench. He was out in right field yesterday. He knows how the wind was going out yesterday. It's changed a little bit here today. Eric Ibar, who doubled in his only at bat. Who knows what the Braves will be this year? Ibar is one of those guys that obviously can be a stopgap until Swanson's ready to play shortstop for the Braves. But he also could be a guy the Braves could deal as the season moves on and get something back in return that can help them in the future. I'm not saying that they would do that, but they could do that.
And they probably will do it.
That's a line drive, base hit into right center field, so he has 2 hits this afternoon. And that'll bring Nick Swisher to the plate.
There's no 2 pitch. I think Bailey would love to have back.
Yeah.
What spring training is for.
Bailey's injuries, and Ben, you pitched at the end of your career. You never want to have any kind of arm injuries if you're a pitcher, or player as a whole, but as a pitcher, his injuries were shoulder problems. Shoulder problems sometimes are harder to come back from. Nick Swisher was thinking something other than what Bailey threw.
And there's just a whole lot more going on in the shoulder than there is in the elbow.
But as he said during this offseason, he feels as good this year as he has in the last couple of years. Breaking ball and a little high. Wow. Marty Foster just said low and outside. That's a pretty good pitch. Yeah.
Good height.
Shallow right center. Sweeney puts it away. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 man left. Bailey's inning is in the books here in Clearwater. 7-1. Phillies on top. We go to the bottom half of the 3rd inning along with Ben Davis, Matt Stairs, and Greg Murphy. I'm Tom McCarthy. Bright sunshiny afternoon here. That is right-hander Casey Kelly, already the 3rd pitcher used by the Braves. Kelly last year was with the Padres in the big leagues for 3 games, and those were his numbers. 11 1/3 innings and a 7.94 earned run average. He's a kid from Sarasota, Florida. Went to Sarasota High School. Facing Cedric Hunter to start things off. 1 ball, no strikes. That one is, that is way up there. And with the wind blowing, that's not an easy catch. And there's 1 away. Here's Nick Williams DHing this afternoon. Williams, his first time up, grounded out on a fine play by Jace Peterson to the right side. He pulls this one to the right again. And there are 2 outs. And Darnell Sweeney, who kind of got the rally going for the Phillies in the second inning, will bat with 2 outs here in the third. Sweeney had an RBI single his first time up and then came around to score a run. That one will hit foul.
Isn't it amazing, though, how baseball, one inning you can be patient, wait for your pitch, and then all of a sudden the next time through you're so aggressive hitting wise. It's like they almost have that little brain cramp where you want to get up there and you're certain on one pitch and you get a different pitch, but you still swing. Been there, done it many times. And I always find that spring training so tough because you're facing a pitcher usually every at bat different. So you might know how the ball is moving off of, Mateo or Kelly, whoever it is. Next time you're going to be facing the right-hander who's totally different.
Right.
It's so hard for hitters to get that timing down, facing basically seven different pitchers throughout a game, or you might face a guy 4 or 5 different guys.
Yeah, and particularly this time of the spring.
Brutal.
Sweeney strikes out, and a 1-2-3 inning for Casey Kelly. So he has stabilized some things for the Atlanta Braves, and the bullpen will go to the top of the fourth here in Clearwater. He did allow a run in the first inning, but then found his other pitches, and that sort of allowed him to get through 2 innings with 5 strikeouts. He allowed just the 1 run and 2 hits to the first 2 batters that he faced, but he showed a good breaking pitch. He showed an excellent changeup, and then the fastball at the end was really picking up on its location. And with that, he's now with Greg Murphy. Murph?
Yeah, we were just talking about it. Jeremy, working on a little bit of everything in your first 2 innings here. Our first real look at you. Of course, you pitched against the University of Tampa a little bit early, but how'd you feel out there? I know you had all your pitches working.
Yeah, no, I felt good. Fastball command could have been a lot better. But yeah, just went to the off speed a little earlier than I usually would. Then it worked out. It felt good. Throwing it for strikes behind in the count, and everything felt good. Just got to work on the fastball command a little bit more.
You're new to the Phillies uniform, but you're not new to the Tampa area. You and I were just talking about it when you were with the Rays. You used to stay down in St. Pete, so you're familiar with this area. But to talk a little bit about the adjustment coming over from Arizona and being a part of this organization now.
So far it's been awesome. Just getting to know the guys and the coaching staff and everybody. So far so good, and I'm having a blast over here right now.
You'll be in familiar territory. You're going to be asked to be an anchor of this rotation, a mix of veteran guys like yourself and some of the young guys. Do you relish that role, knowing that you're going to get the ball every 5 days, but you also have a chance to influence some of these younger guys as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I was kind of in that position last year with some young guys, and I remember my first couple of years just being with Price and Shields, the questions that I had, just trying to take what they taught me those couple of years and apply it to these guys. And I mean, there's so much talent and upside in that locker room, pitching and position players. So it's fun to be a part of and get to see these guys every day.
But the bottom line is you are here to to continue your major league career and to continue to make a name for yourself. The opportunity that is here in this Phillies rotation, how important is that for you?
It's big. Obviously the last couple of years haven't, ended the way I wanted. So, just to get a new opportunity over here, and for these guys to trade for me and, tell me that, how confident and, they know what I can do when I'm right, and I'm just trying to get back to that.
And the guys promise to get you 7 runs every time out, too?
That'd be real nice.
That would be nice, wouldn't
it?
Yeah,
I don't think offense is going to be our problem this year.
Oh, let's hope not. All right, Jeremy, thanks for your time. We appreciate it. Guys, back upstairs.
All right, Murph, thank you. We appreciate that. And you just saw, while Murph was talking to Jeremy Hellickson, Adonis Garcia double to left center field. A little miscommunication again between Goodell and David Lowe out in the outfield. The way the wind is blowing, that ball looked like it was out off the bat, but the wind brought it back. 1 ball and 1 strike to Oliveira with Gregory Infante on the mound.
Well, it's a play right there where it's a long run, but it really has to be caught. 2 guys are there. The lack of communication. You got 2 younger guys in the outfield. Center fielder has to take control, knowing that the ball is going to be coming back towards you because of the wind. I honestly believe that the first collision, it kind of get them a little timid a little bit out there.
Infante overpowering that throw a little bit. And Cameron Rupp out to chat with him.
You know what you get as a coaching staff or a manager where you get frustrated is that you work on those plays a ton in spring training. Communication, balls hit in the gap, 2 guys going after it, no one who has the right to call it off. And then when it happens in the game, that gentleman right there, Pete, and his coaching staff are not happy.
There's a looper out to right field. That's going to drop in for a hit. Stopping at third will be Garcia. Although Hunter's throw nearly sailed. And that'll put runners on first and third with nobody out here in the 4th inning. And Matt Tuiasosopo, who struck out his last time up, will be the batter. Well, that corner down there is always occupied by youngsters who are looking for some autographs from the Phillies players as they wind down their day.
I appreciate you coming over. Thanks a lot. Appreciate that.
So here's Infante trying to get through what's started out to be a tough inning for him. Phillies will play for 2, up by 6 here in the 4th. Fastball inside. Last year, Infante, we showed you the numbers in AAA, had 7 saves and a 2.77 earned run average. He is trying to get back to the big leagues for the first time since 2010. When he got a taste of it, at that point was striking out more than a batter per inning pitched. One ball, 1 strike.
Seems amped up today.
Seems amped up a little bit, yeah. Fastball is, I think the highest it's been is 96 so far today. From Caracas, Venezuela, 28 years old. Off the glove of Rupp. Runners do not advance, and it's 2-2. Phillies are also scheduled to pitch Chris LaRue here this afternoon, and they've got a couple of their prospects who are up in the bullpen in case they're needed. One of them being Tom Windle. 2-2. Thrown a couple breaking balls during this at bat that didn't look too shabby. And ball 4, and that'll load the bases up. Tuesday, April 12th is McDonald's opening night at Citizens Bank Park, and all fans 15 and older will receive the McDonald's opening night T-shirt. It's also a Hatfield Dollar Dog Night, a first of 2 the Phillies will have in the month of April. Tickets can be purchased by going to Phillies.com. So the bases are now loaded. And Rupp out to the mound for the 2nd time in this inning. He's going to try to roll a pair here. The misplayed double that started the inning, but even beyond that, Infante has thrown 13 pitches, but 8 have been out of the strike zone. Make that 9. Snapping the ball back each time, too.
It's hard to get yourself to just say, go easy, go easy, go easy. Because you think the only way you can get back in is to go harder.
Yeah.
Like as a hitter, we go harder, we get slower. You go harder as a pitcher, you lose command.
Chris Peterson was not expecting a strike to be called on that one.
I don't think he was expecting a 2-0 slider either.
Well, that's true. His numbers with the bases loaded during the regular season. Over to first base, and it's backhanded by Stassi. He goes to second for 1. That's all they'll get. They get the middle runner. A run does score, but they get an out.
Heck of a play there.
Very nice.
Heck of a play. Or being wrong-handed comes in your favor, being a first baseman. You don't have to turn and make that pivot. You get plant on your left foot, boom, make the good transition to shortstop. And what that does is now it keeps that double play still intact.
Right.
Great play. Very, very nice.
So an RBI for Peterson, but the Phillies get an out. And now with Brignac up, they'll try to get a couple more.
That shows me right there that Stassi was thinking ahead of that play. Before that ball was hit, he said, if it goes this side, this is what I can or cannot do with the ball.
Off the end of the bat, this should be 2. Sweeney applies the tag, has trouble getting it out of his glove, but is able to turn the double play.
Nice.
And the side is retired. So wildness for Gregory Infante, but solid defense by the right side of the infield for the Phillies. First Stassi, and now Darnell Sweeney to get the double play and wrap up the top of the 4th. Phillies lead it by 5 as we go to the bottom of the 4th inning. And they will send Ryan Jackson to the plate against Casey Kelly, who is beginning his 2nd inning of relief work. Kelly retired the Phils in order in his 1st inning of work and starts off Jackson with a strike. Ryan Jackson walked and scored his first time up. 2 for 5 coming in, make that 3 for 6 after that base hit. And Cameron Rupp, who had the RBI singles last time up, will come to the plate. Phillies are hoping that Cameron can build on last season when he had 9 home runs and 28 RBIs, but of those 9, he had 7 in the month of August. That was the month where he really came to life offensively. Now, it didn't carry over through September. His numbers dipped a little bit in September, but in August, he had .310 with 7 home runs and 17 RBIs in 17 games. And not that we're saying that he'd be able to do that for an entire season, each month, have 7 home runs and 17 RBIs, but something close to that because he is excellent behind the plate.
He really started to trust himself in the fact that he didn't have to pull the ball all the time.
As he pulls that one down the left field line, it's going to the wall. Jackson on his way to 3rd, and he'll be held there. 2 for 2 today for Cameron Rupp.
Well, and Ben, you made a great point. With Cameron's swing, he knows he doesn't have to think about pulling the ball every time for a home run. He has such a short swing right here. Boom, drops the barrel to the ball. Short, compact swing, but he can drive the ball to the ballpark anywhere he needs to.
Yes.
Center field, right center, left field. If they make a mistake, he'll hit the, Frenchie's in left field, and center field will go over the batter's eye. So for me, I love his short swing. Now, we had that tremendous month.
Yeah.
Confidence.
Yeah.
He got in the groove. He found his home run swing. He felt like he was excited to be in there every day, and he didn't have to put too much pressure on himself every time he played.
I'll tell you too, he was part of some of the events we had this past off season with some of the Phillies season ticket holders and suite holders, and he was funny. A 1 pitch inside, 1-1 to Goodell.
He went to Williamsport with us. A nice little bus ride up and back. A couple funny stories about Pete.
That one's in the dirt. 2-1 to Goodell, who has doubled and grounded out to third.
One story was funny. He put Cameron's name in the lineup twice. It said Rupp and Rupp. He meant to put Darren Ruff's name in there. And he went in and told him, he said, gave him a sharp, he said, go change it then.
That one's hit toward third. And Garcia has it. He throws out Goodell. Runners hold up. On Saturday, April 2nd, the Phillies will take on the Phillies Futures. Some of the top prospects in the Phillies organization will face the Phillies. And it's the Phillies Future Series Fathead presented by PGW that'll be given out to fans 14 and under. Tickets can be purchased by going to Phillies.com for that game. So one away, David Lowe. Lowe has walked twice. He is 1 for 4 on the spring. Over to first and right between the hole. 1 run is in. Holding at third is Rupp. It's an RBI single for Lowe, and the Phillies tack on another one. It's 8-2. Well, this is now setting the stage for Maikel Franco, who last time up got a 3-1 pitch that he likes.
I guess he liked it. Very nice swing. Crushed a 3-run home run. 2-0 3-run homer. Foot down early, swinging the bat very well, and back-to-back days of hitting a home run.
I think every time he gets up there and takes a hack like that, and the way he swung during spring training, you know, the injury he had, I don't think anybody was totally concerned that he wouldn't come back 100%, but I mean, there's no question right now he's 100%.
Anytime you do have an injury to the hand or wrist area, that's how you swing the bat with your hands. And something is wrong, like Aaron Altair, you see him go down with that wrist injury. Hopefully that doesn't affect the way he swings the bat when he comes back.
That one's lined into left field, a base hit. Cameron Rupp will score easily. On his way to third is Lowe. The throw to third, not in time. 4th RBI of the day for Franco. And that is what we've been talking about, just reading the ball and taking that extra base. And it's part of what Pete, after clearing his throat, told us he was excited about the other day. So Franco is going to be pinch run for.
I like the swing. It's hard, but it's still under control, and it's still quick. Some guys, like I said earlier, you swing harder the slower the bat gets, but he's swinging hard. He's coming through with some vengeance.
There it is, what we talked about in the open, being aggressive.
Well, Franco is done after his 4 RBI day, and J.P. Crawford's come on to pinch run for him.
It's one thing to be aggressive on the bases, but you have to know your limitations. Matt and I would not try and ball the left field like that, try and make that. Am I overstepping there, Matt?
No.
But you have to know your limitations. And Lowe knows that he can pick him up and put him down, and he's going to make the third base.
See, Tom, he believes that you could have gone first to third.
I don't think he believed
so
that even a little bit.
He didn't throw you under the bus.
I don't know if he thought I could even get to first, never mind first to third. 1 ball, 1 strike. Stassi hits it back to the box. Kelly's got it. He goes to second for 1, and they turn the double play. 1-6-3. Side is retired. The Phillies, though, score a couple more on RBI singles by Lowe and Franco. We've played 4, and the offense is alive with a 7-run lead. The berm, pretty nice place to be here this afternoon. J.P. Crawford is the new double play partner for Darnell Sweeney. So Darnell take those throws at second base. J.P. Crawford takes over at short. That's Ryan Jackson, who moves from short over to third. There's J.P. And as we start the top of the fifth inning, Infante will remain out on the mound after allowing a run in the fourth. And he will face Schlehuber to start the inning off. Schlehuber struck out his first time up. Swing and a miss. It's 0-1. Jeremy Hellickson started the game with the first two innings. Then Andrew Bailey pitched a scoreless third. He allowed one hit. And now it's Infante, who has thrown one inning already and now is in his second inning of work. One ball, one strike. That one is served out toward right and just past Darnell Sweeney. The leadoff base runner for the Braves here in the fifth. And Ender Inciarte will come to the plate. Let's check in with Greg Murphy. Murph.
All right, thank you very much, Tom. Well, one word we have heard leading up to spring training and while we've been here in Clearwater is competition. Certainly the Phils in the offseason tried to bolster up the competition throughout all positions. The outfield, well, that is one of those spots that is going to be very interesting as this spring goes on. You take a look at the guys that are really in the mix for the competition for the big league club. Of course, Herrera, who had such a good year a year ago, and Peter Borges, who came over to the organization this year. Aaron Altherr, of course, and Tyler Goeddel, as you guys talked about, an interesting story, the Rule 5 guy that they're going to take a long look at while he is in camp here because if they're going to keep him, he's going to have to stay on that Major League roster. Of course, Cody Ashley is part of that mix as well. You saw him on that graphic. Hasn't had a chance to play yet. He has been battling injury, but he's a guy that thinks he can win a spot in the outfield. So, as often is the case in spring training, jobs are up for grabs. We had a conversation with Phil's general manager, Matt Klentak, just the other day, and he talked about that. You know, all of these jobs, for the first time really in many, many years, are wide open, not just in the outfield, but really throughout this team. And he really believes that that's the kind of thing that that can really jumpstart a guy, can jumpstart that guys out there looking for positions, looking for a chance. There are opportunities to be had for guys in this organization. Now they just have to take advantage of it.
Yeah, and you talked about Cody Ashley. Cody is anxious to get on the field. He's got a little bit of an oblique strain, but he's anxious to get on the field and get his part of the competition going.
And which I think he needs to get out there. I mean, he needs to get out there and get on the field and show that he can still play left field, and he's still a very good hitter. The longer you sit on the bench with the little nagging injuries, it's tougher getting back and not starting lineup again.
1 ball, 2 strikes to Inciarte, and hits that one off the hands, back through the middle, a base hit. Back-to-back singles for the Braves, and that puts 2 on to start this fifth inning. Matt, I know you talked to Cody today. He's closer to getting back. You said he took some dry swings and closer to getting back.
Took some dry swings today. He feels a little bit off doing some tee work, but he's anxious to get back out there. That's the biggest thing is with obliques, you got to be so careful.
Yeah.
You need to go in and do the dry swings, 10 or 20 without pain. Go to the tee work, and then all of a sudden work to the soft toss.
Well, that's all part of spring training is, competition and battling for jobs, but also getting an opportunity to get out there.
That's the problem, though, about the oblique is you say it's a nagging injury, but if that builds up to something else, you're on the shelf for 6 weeks, and there's nothing you can. It affects everything you do.
Well, for Cody, he started out spring taking some ground balls at first base. Also, he's trying to sort of broaden his abilities. Obviously could play third base, but Franco is there. Check swing by Ibar, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike.
You know, Tom, just adding to the competition in the outfield, of course, are some of the younger players that are in camp, in Major League camp. Guys like Nick Williams and guys like Roman Quinn, who are also fighting for jobs. Now, you know, chances are they probably won't head north with the team right away. But, you know, these guys understand that there are guys down in the minor leagues that also want those jobs. And, again, that's what pushes them. And that's what this camp is all about for the Phils and the Phils front office staff.
Well, you saw Cedric Hunter out there. He's a guy that's hoping to get an opportunity as well. Roman Quinn had a nice day yesterday. Blasted a home run for the Phils and nearly had another one. But it wasn't blasted. It was more his wheels that almost gave him another home run. So bases are loaded here in the 5th. As Chris LaRue will start to warm up in the bullpen. He was scheduled to pitch next. He may come in a little earlier. Nick Swisher's at the plate. So kind of the same situation, guys, that we had in the 4th inning, where Infante was able to work out of that jam with some good plays by the right side of his defense. He's going to need that again here. He's got the velocity.
He does.
It's just getting the command to equal that velocity.
This shows how important that first pitch strike is. And we talk about it all the time. Doesn't matter if you throw 90 or you throw 97. You get behind the major league hitters, they're going to make you pay.
1 ball, no strikes to Swisher. It's whacked foul. It's 1-1.
I don't think Nick Swisher is picking up the off speed very well.
No. Just by his body language in the previous at bat.
Well, and it looks like he swung at that pitch and goes, what was that? Pretty good chance you might see it again.
Rupp sets up inside. Oh, that was a pretty decent pitch right there. Kind of changes the complexion of this at bat.
Throw it again, you'll swing at it.
Think so?
Yep.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
Fastball away.
Yep. Back toward the middle. That should be 2. Sweeney's got it. Flips to second for 1. Crawford quickly to first. 4-6-3. A run does score. The Phillies will take that. I think one of the things that you saw there was the arm of J.P. Crawford as he came across the second base bag and let it loose over to first.
Well, the arm was very good, but the exchange was, I think, even better. Gets himself in a good position, but it's a quick, very quick transition from glove to hand. What I liked about it is same thing for catchers. Guy steals second base. You don't flip it to your bare hand. You go in and get it, and that's what he did right there.
They'll bring Adonis Garcia to the plate. He grounds one towards short. Crawford will get it again. This time he has time and slings it across the diamond, and the side is retired. So Infante allows a couple runs in 2 innings, but is able to get some key ground balls over the last 2. And the Fanatic, well, I think it's safe to say he's on top of his game this spring. Ben, what did you say to Matt?
I said, Matt, you see that big furry green thing out there in the field?
Yeah.
I said, I've been laughing at that thing for 38 years.
Little Hawaii 5-0, and he just wanted to give everybody that was participating in the rowing competition a little feel for what it would be like to be in the Gulf.
Can do no wrong, the Philly Fanatic.
He can do no wrong. Well, some changes for the Atlanta Braves. That's the new pitcher, Arodys Vizcaino. 3-1 last year with an ERA of 1.60. And then across the board, the infield has been adjusted for the Braves, which we'll get to in just a second. The only guy that's the same is the guy at second base. Cedric Hunter will lead it off to the Phils here in the bottom of the 5th, and he hits the first one foul at the first base line. Fielded by Nate Fryman. He takes over for Nick Swisher. Hunter came on to take over for Aaron Altair, who left with a sore wrist. And Hunter now is 0 for 1 with a walk. He scored a run his first time up. Swing and a miss. 0-2. For Casey Kelly of the Braves, give him 2 innings. He allowed 4 hits and 2 runs. And those 2 runs were earned. And the 4 hits, all 4 of them took place in the 4th inning. No walks and 1 strikeout. Swing and a miss, and Hunter strikes out to start the 5th inning. And now Nick Williams, who's 0 for 2. Vizcaino. He's got some stuff, and the Braves have a lot of young pitchers. There's a correlation between the 2 organizations when it comes to the abundance of young pitching prospects that are now in the system. And his first pitch is low there.
I'd like to see Nick getting back to using the big part of the field. 2 at bats. 2 weaker ground balls to the right side. Get back in his strength of going gap to gap.
Now, how does he do that, Matt? Is that timing more than anything else?
Yeah,
Or is he jumping a little bit?
He's going after the balls. Just let it get a little deeper. Trust your hands.
Well, the changes for the Braves that we alluded to. Fryman's at first base. Ozzie Albies is at shortstop, and Daniel Castro's at third. Swing and a miss. 98 miles an hour on March 4th.
That's right.
It's March 4th. He's throwing 98 miles an hour. Matt Kennelly is the catcher for the Braves, and if he didn't break his glove in before today, it's going to be broken in just a few moments. And Malik Smith is out in center field. Swing and a miss. That was at 100.
Oh, I'm just getting warmed up.
Oh, Vizcaino last year 9 saves for the Braves. Yeah.
Look at the location.
Yeah.
It's 100, low and away at the knees.
You tip your cap and you walk back.
Never.
Cardell Sweeney can catch up to a fastball.
That's why I threw him an off-speed pitch.
Yeah. Darnell has an RBI single today. Struck out swinging his last time up, 1 for 2. Phillies have pounded out 8 hits, 9 runs. Threw a change up at 97.
Get me over.
I guess if you throw hard, you throw hard. It doesn't matter what it is in spring training, but you're just not used to seeing 100 at this point, unless Aroldis Chapman is out on the mound.
That was a change up there at 90. But good arm action on it.
Speaking of 100, the Phillies, Johnny Cordero, they got from the Blue Jays last year. Sounds like he is progressing. He was a little banged up to start spring training. Vizcaino has just struck out the side here in the 5th inning. And he made it look rather easy. We've played 5 innings here at Bright House Field. 3 straight strikeouts. Not only with the fastball, with a pretty good breaking pitch. Ben, thank you for the laugh track on that. 9-3 Phillies on top as we go to the top of the 6th inning. Nice job today by Jeremy Hellickson, who went the first 2 innings, struck out 5. First 2 batters reached. That's when he allowed the run, but after that, nothing else. Maikel Franco, 3-run home run, an RBI single. Tyler Goodell had an opposite field 2-run double. Also throw in Cameron Rupp, who had a nice base hit to help the Phils in a very good rally in the seconds. And now we go to the top half of the 6th inning. And Chris LaRue will take over on the mound for the Phils. LaRue, who last pitched in the major leagues in the Yankees organization in 2014. Last year in 30 games in the minor leagues had an ERA of 3.90. He was in Colorado Springs and then finished up the year with the Phils in Reading. Colorado Springs is he had an ERA of 8.15 in 7 games. Reading and Lehigh Valley is where LaRue pitched last year for the Phils. He'll face Hector Oliveira to start the 6th inning for the Braves. First pitch is spun off the end of the bat foul. LaRue grew up just outside Toronto in Mississauga. And he went to college here in the States in Rock Hill, South Carolina, just outside of Charlotte. Ground ball to shortstop, cut off by the third baseman Jackson, and just in time to get Oliveira one away.
Nice play by Jackson, cutting that ball off. Oliveira doesn't run all that well, but nice job by Jackson to cut that ball off and make the throw to first. I think if he lets Crawford get this ball, Oliveira would have been safe at first base.
I have to admit, though, I wanted to see Crawford backhand it and try to get the throw over there just to see his arm a little bit more. Here's Tuiasa Sopo. And that one's pulled foul past Bo Porter. Wonder if Sarge knows that Bo Porter's here in the third base coach's box. There was a couple of years when Bo Porter was with the Braves and with the Astros and around baseball, where every time we saw Bo Porter, he was a pregame interview on the radio. He has more gift cards than anybody in baseball, thanks to Gary Matthews. 0-2 to Tuiasa Sopo. Oh, 2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He got him. 2 up, 2 down for LaRue. Phillies will be celebrating the Fanatics' birthday, brought to you by Citizens Bank on Sunday, April 17th. It's all part of the Washington National Series. All kids 14 and under will receive the Fanatic Flare Hair Visor. Tickets can be purchased for that game, that series, and for every game by going to Phillies.com. Chase Peterson is 0 for 2 with an RBI. Ground ball toward first, and that is a fair ball. It hits the bag, and Stassi was able to read it perfectly and help LaRue to a 1-2-3 6th inning. Well, a nice job out of the bullpen for LaRue, and a nice job for Stassi to recognize that I better go get it. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th with the Phils up 9-3. Chase Peterson moves from second base to left field for the Atlanta Braves, and Dansby Swanson. I know Braves fans are excited to see him in camp. He is taken over at second base for Atlanta. And the new pitcher is Madison Youngner. Last year in the minor leagues, he had 11 saves, 3.03 ERA. It's kind of interesting. It's interesting. The last couple of days, we've seen a lot of young pitchers in camps, whether it be for the Astros or the Braves, with save totals, like stronger save totals than you're used to. You know, a lot of times you don't see a closer evolve until they're later on in their minor league career. But some of these guys have been single A, double A, and triple A closers. Ryan Jackson takes low, so 1 ball, 1 strike.
Madison has the delivery of an iron mic.
Yes, he does.
Right over top.
Like Cole Munter from the Diamondbacks.
Yep. First guy that stepped into my my mind. Up top, 2-1. The outside corner, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
It's an easy delivery, though. There it is, right over top.
Ideally, you'd like to see a little bit more bend in that plant foot from your pitcher.
Sweeps that one outside. It's 3-2. He's over from the Red Sox organization. He was in Pawtucket last year, just for a couple of games, and Portland, part of the Sea Dogs roster, for 39 games. That one is lined out toward left center field. On the run is Smith, and he makes the catch. Smith got a great jump off that one. Now there's one away. Logan Moore, the new catcher for the Phils, will bat after Cameron Rupp goes 2 for 2 with a couple runs scored and an RBI. And a very nice day.
I was impressed with Cameron's at-bats today, not just because he got a couple hits, but the approach he had and the way he was able to really be short to the baseball.
That one's into shallow left field. Yeah, there are 2 outs. And Tyler Goodell will come up for the 4th time. I think it's safe to say that, and every day is different depending on which pitcher you're facing, but today was a better day for the Phillies offensively from a strategy standpoint, the way they went after and approached
I would agree.
The Braves pitchers. That was off the helmet of Goodell, and looks like he's okay, so he will trot over to first base.
But that will be mandatory.
Yep, I was going to say Chris Mudd coming out. Phillies athletic trainer.
Yeah. And that's one of those things where spring training, I think Tyler's going to be okay and feel fine. But you want the spring training, you want to hit. Different if it's middle of the season, you're a leadoff guy. Any way you can get on base, manufacture runs. Which I think, or you're struggling. Tyler Goodell is want to manufacture some runs out there on the base paths. But in spring training, you want to hit.
So Chris Mudd comes over to chat with Larry Boa and with Pete Buchanan. He went over just to take a look at him. Concussions around sports, whether it be football, hockey, or even baseball, is something that is being focused on. That ball back to the box, and the side is retired. So Lowe is retired, and the Phillies are as well. No runs, no hits, and 1 man left. All looks fine for Tyler Goodell. We'll head to the 7th. The Phillies up 9-3. Brignac leads it off against LaRue to start the 7th inning. First pitch is wide, 1-0. Roman Quinn takes over in center field for Tyler Goodell. One ball, 1 strike. Off the end of the bat, that is a foul ball. Nice crowd today.
Very nice.
Folks are soaking in the sun, not only in the general seating area, but also out in the berm. This weekend, the Phillies will play tomorrow in Dunedin, and then Sunday back home here at Bright House Field.
Versus?
The Yankees. Tanaka is supposed to pitch on Sunday for the Yankees. Tomorrow the Phillies will run Aaron Nola out against the Blue Jays. And Charlie Morton will start on Sunday here at Bright House Field. 2-2 to Reed Brignac, who is 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a ground out. Probably swept just a little low. Outside, ball 4. That walk issued by LaRue was just the second issued by Phillies pitching. And that'll bring Kennelly, the catcher, up for the first time. Matt Marksberry is the lefty in the pen. Is that the guy last year whose uniform looked like it was too big on him when he was pitching?
He got caught up with another youngster, and they all went out to the bullpen, swimming in their jerseys. Swimming.
It even looked big on him, though, as the year went on. I don't know why I remember that.
Tell you though, it fit a heck of a lot better than that minor league jersey he was wearing.
I would agree with you on that. Kennelly last year with Double-A Mississippi hit .220. LaRue just tossed that one over. Unfortunately, it hit Reed Brignac. Not fortunately for Reed, but for the Phillies. In fact, not fortunately at all for Reed Brignac.
All right, ribs.
A bit inside, 1-2.
You can roll one up here.
Out to right field, and Hunter got a real good break on it. Makes it an easy play for the first out. And that'll bring Ozzie Albies to the plate, the shortstop for the Braves. He was expecting a little different pitch. He was a little out in front of that one at 87 miles an hour. Albies last year was in Single-A. He had .310, had 29 stolen bases. Just a bit outside. So far, he's 3 for 5 this spring with a home run. He is from Curacao. Braves have had some success with guys from Curacao, including the guy that's in the on-deck circle. They're really high on him, Maddox Smith. In fact, the Atlanta Journal-Constitution had a story in today. There's Smith about Albies. And it talked about the fact that he is the talk of the camp right now, and there's no chance of J.P. Crawford, even with his arm, to throw him out on that double play. Instead, they get the lead runner. So a fielder's choice. And that'll bring Maddox Smith to the plate. The thing that stands out with Albies is they say his IQ is just off the charts. Baseball IQ is just off the charts.
That's what you like. The most notable from Curacao would be
Randall Simon.
about a little Andrew Jones? Who's going into the Braves Hall of Fame this year.
As well he should.
Yes. Rendell Simons from there.
Yes.
He's a good player.
Still remember when he hit that sausage.
I was standing beside him.
Did you tell him to do it?
No.
Swing and a miss. Good off-speed pitch. Smith yesterday finished 4 for 6. I should say Wednesday finished 4 for 6 with 2 triples, a home run, and a double in the game against Baltimore. Both of his triples came in the first inning of that ball game.
Is that good?
Well, the note goes on to say only one player since 1984 had 2 triples in an inning during a major league regular season game. And since 1913, only 7 players had 2 triples, 1 double, and a home run in a regular season game. And he's down on strikes, and the side is retired. No runs, no hits, 1 bad left. Just so you know, I was done with the story. At the bottom of the 7th inning here at Bright House Field, the Phillies are on top 9-3. Matt Marksberry is the new pitcher for the Braves, the left-hander. 0-3 last year in ERA 5.01. He'll face J.P. Crawford to start today's ball game. Or start this inning, I should say. Let's check in with Greg Murphy, who is with Tyler Goeddel. Murph?
I am, and here's the good news. It's in one piece. I said, you're okay. You took that the ball to the head, but you went back and got checked out. Everything good?
Yeah, feeling good. Curveball to the head. Feel fine. I just wanted to make sure everything was all right, so everything checked out. Good to go.
If you're going to pick one, a curveball's a good one, right?
Exactly. No complaints.
Let's talk a little bit about how you arrived in Phillies camp. Your first major league camp, so that's got to be exciting in and of itself. But we were just talking about being, one of those Rule 5 draft picks. I said to you, it's got to be exciting. It's got to be an awesome opportunity for a young guy like yourself.
It is. It's a great opportunity. I mean, it doesn't get any better than having a great shot to make the big league team. Obviously I was with the Rays earlier. They didn't protect me, but it's definitely a great opportunity. I'm going to try and make the most of it.
So you arrive in Clearwater with the knowledge that you're going to get every opportunity, really, probably to make this team. How do you approach that then? What has been your approach?
I'm just going to work hard and try and follow with the veterans on the team because they've been here, done it before. So they know the ins and outs of Major League camp, what to do, when to show up, all those type of things. And I'm just going to follow them, work hard, and let the people upstairs make the decisions.
Has anything surprised you so far as you've kind of made your way through 2.5 weeks here in Clearwater?
Not too much. I knew going in that big league camp's a lot of fun, a pretty relaxed environment, which it's been. It's been great. Picking the brains of guys who've been in the big leagues for a few years. A lot of fun. I'm excited for these next 3 weeks.
Yeah, I'm thinking about a guy like Peter Bourjos. I would imagine there's a guy that you can kind of glean some information off of and kind of watch what he does. Is that a fair statement?
Definitely. Peter's a leader for sure. Him, Cody Ashley's been great to me as well. A lot of good guys on the team that have helped me out.
So folks in Philadelphia who are watching and saying, all right, so who is Tyler Goeddel? What would you say? What could they expect? What can they expect from your game?
I feel like I can do a little bit of everything. I can hit, I can run, play some defense. I feel like I can do everything. It's about a matter of me putting everything together. I feel last year I did a great job of doing that. Hopefully I can build off of that this year.
We've had a chance to watch you, do some outfield drills, and it is fun to watch. You just look at the speed in this outfield with yourself and Bourjos and Herrera and other guys that, speed is a big part of your game, is it not?
Yeah, it is. I mean, everyone on this team can run, everyone in the outfielders. I think it's great. I think having a great defensive outfield is really important, especially in the big leagues with huge ballparks. So, we take pride in, getting our work in and making other plays during the game.
Before I let you go, any position out there in the outfield you like better than the other? Or?
I like all three. Wherever I'm playing, I'm happy.
As long as you're in the lineup, right?
Okay.
Well, Tyler, thanks for your time. Welcome to the Phillies organization. We look forward to watching you over the next couple of weeks.
Thank you.
All right, guys, back upstairs.
All right, Murph, we appreciate that. It was a couple years ago that Goeddel was asked about what he prefers more, shortstop or third, and he kind of said the same thing he told Murph about the outfield. He goes, I like both of them. He did then go on to say that he feels like he's more of a shortstop, though, than a third baseman. Now he is making that transition to the outfields. Kind of like you, Matt. He made the transition from the infield to the outfields.
Yeah, to the bench.
Yeah. Well, I think he's hoping he's not going to do that.
Well, and it was a very good interview. both by Murph and Goodell. I mean, that's one of those things where you come into spring training and you pick the brains of some veterans that are on the team. You watch the game, you talk to guys, you learn the game, you have fun. The big league camp is fun.
Stassi with a single to right field, right through the hole. So he's aboard with one out here in the 7th inning. I wonder, though, because I think he knew that he was gone from the Rays, that if the Phillies weren't going to take him, the next two teams would have, the Braves would have taken him. So he knew. I wonder what that feeling's like to know, all right, I'm not protected. There's a pretty good chance I'm out of this organization.
Murph, you want to run and catch him? Ask him that question.
You definitely can see that skill set is there. The things that he was talking about. He does do all those well. It's a matter of, is he able to do it at the big league level?
Matt, I would go chase him down, but I'm not sure I'm fast enough. Let me rephrase that. I know I'm not fast enough.
Yeah. Very nice play by Kenley, the catcher for the Braves. So there are 2 outs, and Darren Ruff will pinch hit here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Darren had a few RBIs in yesterday's ball game against the Yankees. Last year, 12 home runs, 39 runs batted in. As we talked about in the open yesterday, a lot of that damage was done against left-handers, and Pete Buchanan putting him up against a left-hander here. Fastball high, 1 ball, no strikes. Off the hands. Two balls and 1 strike. That one is smoked right at the second baseman, Swanson. And the side is retired. Well, he hit it right on the nose. Tough one to not have anything to show for it. Phillies lead 1. We'll head to the 8th. The Phillies up 9-3.
The lead over the Atlanta Braves. A lot of talk, of course, guys, in spring training about the prospects, and there are a couple of very good prospects in both of these organizations. The Phillies, of course, have heard so much about J.P. Crawford and his ability to play shortstop. We'll take a look at the MLB pipeline ratings for the shortstops in the minor leagues right now. Corey Seager of the Dodgers comes in number 1, but then J.P. Crawford of the Phils, number 2. And then Dansby Swanson, who we're getting a chance to see as well, part of the Atlanta organization, the number 1 overall pick in 2015, is here as well today on the field. These are 2 guys that both organizations have high hopes for when they down the line in the future, certainly. And you see both of those guys getting a chance to play late in this game. You know, we shouldn't forget, of course, that the Phils have guys like Freddie Galvis and Cesar Hernandez in the infield now. Matt, and I know Freddie Galvis has really impressed you so far in this camp, but when you look ahead to some of the guys that are coming down the line, certainly positive for both squads for shortstops in the future.
Well, you definitely have some depth, and Freddie Galvis has done an unbelievable job this spring training so far of working on his hitting, working hard on those defense. What I like is I watch him take batting practice, and if he hits the ball in the air, he steps out. I'm not really sure what he says to himself because I'm not great in Spanish right now. But he gets back in there and makes the adjustment, and that's what I really like seeing from Freddie Galvis this spring so far.
Yeah, Freddie's got a little confidence too. Even, you know, and he knows that JP is there, but he also knows that he had a decent year offensively last year and just wanted to improve on his defense more than his offense. That'll be an infield hit for Fryman against Luis Garcia. And Daniel Castro will be the next batter for the Braves. See Garcia's numbers, 3.51 ERA. Swanson, who Murph talked about, is in the on-deck circle for the Atlanta Braves. Castro came on to play third. Saw him a little bit last year in the big leagues for the Braves. First pitch from Garcia, and that's the key. He's over for a strike. It's 0-1. That one's fouled away down the right field line. No balls and 2 strikes. Garcia, when we talked to Pete and Bob McClure about that closer's role, we threw his name out there. But again, the command is the big thing with him. He's got stuff, obviously. I mean, he was productive for a good part of last year, but whether he's a setup guy, which is what he probably will be, he has closer's stuff, but he just has to command it a little bit more. Pete really likes Hinojosa, who we were talking about the other day. And he was very effective last year when he came over from the Red Sox.
Well, Garcia has tremendous stuff. He's got a very good fastball. He's working on a split finger. Has a nice slider. Now, it's one thing sitting on the edge of your seat going, okay, what type of pitcher is going to show up tonight in the 9th inning?
Mm-hmm.
You want a guy that you can basically guarantee he's going to go out and throw strikes, at least.
That one's lined into right field. That'll be in for a base hit. Fryman will have to hustle up to second base, and he gets there without a problem. So back-to-back hits, and that will bring Swanson to the plate. Dansby Swanson is playing second base right now. Earlier this week, he was at shortstop. He and Albies, who is at shortstop today, are 2 of the top prospects in the Braves organization. Now, they're going to start the year, much like the Phillies with Alfaro and Knapp. Both will be playing shortstop for a minor league team. As that one is a high chopper to short. Crawford's got it, and he's going to go the short way to third. And there's one away. But at some point, either Swanson or Albies, who's just 19. Albies is only 19 years old. One of them is probably going to be moved to second base. It may not happen this year. It may happen in the offseason next year. It depends on what their progress is. But both are very talented shortstops, but one is most likely going to be moved to second base at some point. The other day when Swanson played short, Albies played second. And today it's vice versa. Tuiasa Sopa takes a strike, and it's 0-1. Over to short. Crawford's got it. Flips to second for 1. And the throw goes wide. And a run will score as Castro will cross the plate. Well, that was a routine double play ball. It just sailed a little bit on Sweden.
I know you cannot assume a double play, but that was about as tailor-made as you could have it. Almost like he didn't get a grip and just yanked it. It's one Darnell would like to have back, I'm sure.
Now Peterson. Peterson is 0 for 3 today. He has struck out, reached on a fielder's choice, received an RBI, grounded out to first. That one is a little inside. And the count evens up, 1 ball, 1 strike. I think the thing that stands out about the Phillies and their relievers over the last couple of years with what they've been able to reestablish in the farm system is that one is grounded into right field, a base hit. is that they got guys that are coming out of the bullpen throwing hard. You know, they're not sort of pitching backwards to get outs. I mean, they're getting strikeouts. So runners on first and third, and Rio Ruiz will be up for the first time for Atlanta. Phillies bullpen is quiet at this point. They're going to try to get Garcia through this inning.
He's only thrown 11 pitches.
Rio Ruiz, just 21 years old. Braves signed him, and that negated his scholarship to the University of Southern California, a place where he committed when he was 14 years old. In the dirt. Jose Ramirez warming up in the pen. Originally drafted by the Astros. And he was involved in the Evan Gattis trade outside. Committed to USC at the age of 14. I don't know how big he was.
It's just not right.
Just not right. That's ball 4.
I don't know if that's right, or having Geddes hit 11 triples last year for the Houston Astros.
Well, that's when all is right in the world when that happens. And the bases are loaded now. So Matt Kennelly will come up. Garcia in a little bit of trouble here. He should be in the dugout because of that double play ball, but no balls, 1 strike. Back toward the middle, and that's going to leak into center field. A base hit. 1 run is in. Roman Quinn's throw to the plate cut off, and that's a 2-run single. As Peterson scores as well. And it's now a 9-5 ball game. All right, so Garcia, even with the missed double play opportunity, has to figure out a way to get out of this here. He's allowed 3 hits. He's walked 1 in the inning. And runners on first and second now for Albies. Actually, let me correct that. It's 9-6. I took a blink up at the scoreboard. They just switched it. They had wishful thinking and had it 9-5. So 9-6 the score. It means the tying run has come to the plate here in the 8th inning. Rutrow. Runners lead off first and second. They had a fastball in there for a strike.
Little guy, Marty. Little bitty guy.
Back in the box, Ozzie.
Freddie Gonzalez, I don't know if you can hear him in the background. You might have been able to hear it. He said, come on, Marty, he's a little bitty guy. Over toward the hole, backhanded by Crawford, and he's not going to get Albies, so the bases will be loaded. An infield hit. And Maddox Smith will be the batter. Only chance that Crawford had of getting it out would have been if he went to third.
And that's what I thought that's what they're going to do.
But Ryan Jackson wasn't over there because he had been shaded a little bit and was deep. 21 pitch inning for Garcia. And Smith, who struck out, takes outside and low. 1 ball and no strikes. Bit high. 2-0. Well, now 3-0. What do you got here, boys? What are you seeing from Garcia?
Well, I mean, besides the last 3 pitches, he's been fine. I mean, the base hits are on the ground. There's nothing you can do about that.
That's a good point. There's ball 4, so he just walked him on 4 pitches. It's now a 9-7 game. RBI for Smith. The Phillies batted around earlier in the game, and that helped them build their lead. And now Bob McClure and Pete Mackanin have watched the Braves bat around here in the 8th inning. He's going to go to the phone, and somebody's going to get up and start warming.
That's the way I see it, Tom. Is that it'd be a different story if balls are being hit left center, right center gaps, and the outfielders like a track meet. Balls have been in the infield, knocked ball up the middle. But it comes back down to where you do so many fundamentals in spring training. You do a 6-4-3 double play so many times. And when you have a routine 6-4-3 double play or a 4-6-3 double play, it has to be turned the bottom line. It really does. I know it happens, but you made a great point. Garcia needs to find a way to make that key pitch to get the next out. Let's just say it's a good thing it's spring training.
Yeah.
And nobody feels worse than that man right there, Darnell Sweeney.
Absolutely.
Nobody feels worse. I guess a positive you could take out of Garcia missing is that when he's missing, he is missing down.
Well, after Bob McClure goes out to the mound, that gave Hector Neris a chance to loosen up. And Fryman will be up for the 2nd time in this inning. He singled to start the inning. It's a 9-7 ball game. And the first pitch sweeps in for a strike. It's 0-1. Swing and a miss, 0-2.
What do you got, Ben? You're the ex-catcher.
I keep going at it. Another slider.
The 0-2 pitch. He throws him another slider. This time he lays off. It's 1-2. You have good speed at second base with Albies and with Malik Smith over at first base. Down low again. Now 2-2. 4 straight sliders. And a fastball called. Strike 3. After all that, he was able to paint it on the inside part of the plate. And the side is retired. 4 runs do score in the inning for the Braves. They'll make it a 2-run game as we go to the bottom of the 8th. Bottom of the 8th inning, 9-7 Phillies lead. 4 runs scored for the Braves in their half of the 8th inning. So made those folks happy right there. Darnell Sweeney will lead it off here in the bottom of the 8th against Jose Ramirez, new pitcher for Atlanta. And he delivers the first pitch fastball, first strike. Sweeney is 1 for 3 and an RBI single his first time up, and has struck out his last 2 times to the plate. Off the end of the bat, foul territory, third base side. Castro actually crosses over into fair territory to make the catch, and 1 away here in the 8th inning. Here is Ryan Jackson. He has scored a couple runs. As a walk, a single, and he's also flied out to center field. I think got some guys coming out throwing some gas, aren't they?
I think some of these guys played winter ball.
They must have played winter ball. I mean, they are firing. I mean, if I had it, I would too.
They're not leaving anything in the tank.
No. Well, they are trying to make the club, I guess. Ramirez, 26 years old, from San Cristobal, Dominican Republic. Yankees and Mariners organization before the Braves.
What I saw out of Vizcaíno, though, that was electric.
Mm-hmm. The Braves saw a little bit of that last year. In the dirt, and out 3-1.
Yeah, but why shouldn't pitchers, if you throw 95, 96, 97, use it. Hitters are up there trying to hit the ball as hard as they can, as far as they can. You know what? It's spring training, who cares? You still go out there and you still got to compete and throw as hard as you can and try to make outs. So if you're not going to make the team on a spring training, you might impress somebody.
Well, Ryan Jackson has been impressive today. He has 2 hits, including that one right there. So he has scored a couple runs, has 2 hits, and now Logan Moore will be the batter. Logan Moore came on to catch after Cameron Rupp had 2 hits and 2 runs scored and an RBI. Moore popped out to shortstop into shallow left field his first time up, so he's 0 for 1.
I agree with you, Matt. If you're a competitor, a pitcher, how do you go out there and say, well, no, I'm not going to use my 100% fastball today? I don't know how you do that. You're going out on that field for a reason, to beat whoever you're going against.
No, I understand the veterans. The veterans want to work on maybe their changeup, or they're working on their slide step today, slide step slider. If you're talented enough to throw this hard like these guys are throwing,
yeah,
I'm bringing that heat every chance I got until someone beats me with it. Because like I said, you're just not trying to impress the Atlanta Braves and making the ball team. Scouts are in the stands. One never knows. A big trade comes down, and you might be the number one guy in the topic of the trade talks.
1 ball, 2 strikes to Moore. And he fouls it back to the screen. It remains 1-2. Yeah, and I guess if you do throw 96, 97, you are going to throw it no matter what it is.
Absolutely.
Freddie Gonzalez and Roger McDowell, they got a piece together of bullpen. They're optimistic, they say, about what they have in camp for their bullpen. And Logan Moore has struck out for the second out here in the 8th inning. And Roman Quinn will be the batter.
gas. Here it is. Hit it. Swung underneath it.
Roman Quinn hit the home run yesterday against the Yankees. Also had a triple. And it's 0-1.
Bo said he would have had an inside the park home run yesterday, but he missed third and had to go back.
So great. Runner goes. Throw to second base is a strong one. And Ryan Jackson is thrown out trying to steal, and the side is retired for the Phillies here in the 8th inning. On to the 9th. The Phils need 3 outs to record the victory here at Bright House Field when we come back. To the top of the 9th inning, Hector Neris will be the new pitcher for the Phillies. They'll try to close this out, pick up their first victory here at Bright House Field. They won yesterday over in Tampa. Neris had looked good in his one outing that we saw him the other day. And he'll try to get the last 3 outs, face Daniel Castro to start it off. Swanson will be the next guy. Luis Garcia charged with 4 runs in 1 inning of work in that 8th inning. Things that were impressive today, at least it seemed that way, was Hellickson, his 2 innings. LaRue was strong in his 2, and Andrew Bailey looked good in the 1 inning.
Yes.
Yep, he did.
That was a great sign, too, to see that. So Castro will lead it off. First pitch from Neris is inside. It's 1 ball and no strikes. Castro singled his only at bat, so he is 1 for 1. Inside. He's had a good couple of days. 3 for 5 so far to start the spring.
He is way up in the box, too. He's a good foot in front of where most guys stand in the back.
You can see where most guys stand. It's dug out. 3-0. You
can see this is where they normally stand right there, and he's a good foot in front of that.
And ball 4, so Castro's aboard. And Swanson will bat for the 2nd time. Dansby Swanson, you see the extra length on his helmet to protect that side of his face. His first day with the Arizona Diamondbacks last year, he was playing in a simulated game, and one of his teammates, or one of the guys that was also part of last year's draft, they were playing a simulated game, and he was hit in the face, hit in that spot, received a bunch of stitches and a mild concussion.
Very similar to the one that Hayward wears now with the Cubbies.
1 ball and no strikes to Swanson. The tying run here in the top of the 9th inning. Tuiasa Sopo is in the on-deck circle. Fastball in there. 1-1. Yeah, the last couple innings haven't gone all that smooth for the strike zone for the Phil's pitchers.
Nope.
Fans just let Hector know it. It's kind of a carryover from the last inning. Way outside.
good time for a nice two-seamer, 6-4-3 double play.
Nope, that was upstairs. 3-1. 8 pitches, 1 strike for Hector Neris. At the knees, and it's 3 balls and 2 strikes. Swanson, when he was signed by the Arizona Diamondbacks, had a signing bonus of just under $6 million. Actually, just over $6 million. $6.5 million signing bonus.
2 commas are cool.
And a strike 3 call.
Good location, bottom at the knees, 94. Back-to-back good pitches.
Looked like Swanson thought that was a tad low.
Yeah, whatever.
You could have gone either way, but you got to be ready to swing the bat in that situation. You pretty much know without certainty what you're going to get there.
There's Tuiasa Sopo, who is up for the 5th time today. First pitch just a little inside. 1 ball and no strikes. Top of the 9th inning, Phillies up 9-7. A 4-run 8th inning tightened the screws a little bit of this game. Way outside, 2-0. That one sharply hit it to left field. So Tuiasa Sopo has a base hit. Second time he's reached. And it means that the tying runs are aboard here in the 9th inning. And Jace Peterson, who is 1 for 4 with 1 RBI and a run scored, will be the hitter. Well, the end of this game has not been as fluid as the beginning of this game.
No, it hasn't. A lot has to do with first pitch strikes.
Yeah. Upstairs, 1-0. Two balls and no strikes. Rio Ruiz is in the on-deck circle for the Braves.
Come on, Hector. You know, this is a situation where he's spending a lot of time looking at Castro at second base.
Yeah.
Work. I know you're struggling with your command, but work on getting Jace Peterson out. It's like he's looking back there, then picking up and going right away without really picking up Moore's target behind plate.
Hey, look at that ball strike ratio. I mean, you want it the other way around. 17th pitch of the inning, 12 pitches out of the strike zone. And he just walked him. Second walk, and the bases are now loaded here in the 9th inning. He has faced 4 batters and has not thrown a first pitch strike to any of them. Bob McClure going out to the mound.
Well, I find in baseball you notice it a lot with young pitchers or hitters who are trying to make a major league team out of spring training. And Ben, you great point of not picking up your sign. They start thinking too much. You know, he throws the ball to the zone. He snaps the ball back. You can see he's talking to himself. Hitters are the same way. Hitters will walk around the mound, or I'm sorry, a home plate. They'll think about their hitting. You know, that's where you just you need to step back and say, okay, get your thoughts together. First pitch strikes down the zone, we're good to go. But as guys start thinking too much, ball players were not very smart. When you start thinking too much, you make a lot of mistakes.
Well, he's got a guy at the plate that during his brief minor league career has struck out a good amount. Nearly a strikeout per game last year in the minor leagues. And Logan Moore out to talk to Neris. He walked in the 8th, scored one of the runs, one of the 4 runs by the Braves in that 8th inning. Phillies did not want to do this, but they've got bullpen action. Ramos is starting to throw. We saw him the other day. 2 balls and 1 strike. A lot of the guys that were on the list today to pitch were kind of backups just in case. And they've had to use a couple of the backups here this afternoon. 2 balls, 1 strike, bases loaded. And Ruiz hits it over our heads, out of play, 2-2.
Yeah, we kind of want to reverse that negative thought. Said, okay, now I found 1 pitch away.
Yes.
I make a quality pitch right here.
Yep.
As bad as I have pitched today, boom, we win 9-7. I walk out of here with an ERA of 0, and I made a quality pitch when I needed to.
Now it's 3-2. That's his pitch too. That's the one he's. I mean, the fastball is one thing, but that's his pitch, his out pitch, and he struggled with the fastball, but he struggled with that out pitch too. A changeup or a sort of split action. Swing and a miss. He got him with some high heat. Well, Ruiz helped him out there, but it's the second strikeout for Neris. He'll take it. 2 away with the bases loaded here in the 9th inning.
Ruiz does him a favor, goes up the ladder, and chases for the second punch out of the inning.
Well, here's Matt Kennelly, who had a 2-run single his last time up. He also flied out to right field. And it's 1 ball and no strikes.
Boy.
Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike. 25 pitch inning for Neris. When they say a guy's got to get his work in, well, he certainly has gotten his work in here today. It's funny, you can hear the crowd moaning with each close pitch. There have been a couple of pitches. I mean, they're balls, but you can hear them moaning. Way outs. Oh, no. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Just as we predicted. Strike 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Check swing. Did he go? No, says Foster. No appeal. The runners will be off. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2-run game. Runners go. And ball 4. It's now a 1-run ball game. 3 walks in the inning for Hector. And the bases remain loaded. 3 walks, a single, 2 strikeouts. And Bob McClure is out to the mounds. And I believe he's going to go to the bullpen. He is signaled to the pen. It's the second visit of the inning. I thought he was bringing Marty Foster out. He waved toward Marty Foster. I was waiting to see. And I think he was just telling Marty, I'm getting him out of there. So that's what's going to happen. We got a pitching change here at Bright House Field. The Phillies trying to get the last out with the bases loaded. A 1-run lead here in the top of the 9th inning. As Matt pointed out, Garcia had got more ground balls. And the plays just weren't made a few different times. But both struggled with command in their inning and 2/3 together. And that means the Braves have kicked the door open a little bit. 5 runs in the last 2 innings. The Phillies need to get 1 more out here at the top of the 9th inning. Edubre Ramos will be the new pitcher. Ramos, who last year spent time with not only the Clearwater Threshers but also the Reading Titans, pitched in 47 games and an ERA of 2.07. Charlie going over. Well, maybe lightening the mood a little bit. Ozzie Albies is the batter with the bases loaded. And Ramos spins his feet a little bit. 1 ball and no strikes. Bases are loaded. A run is in here in the 9th inning after 4 runs in the 8th. Two and 0. Ramos 65 strikeouts last year in 69 and 2/3 innings. Three balls and no strikes. Ball 4, and we are tied up at 9. Remarkable. Even in a spring training game. 6 walks in the last 2 innings for the Phillies relievers. My math right, Matt?
5 this inning, right?
4 this inning.
4 this inning.
Yeah. 1 ball and no strikes. Moore goes out. Smith walked and forced in a run. Yep, that's the storyline. Malik Smith, the batter. 1 ball, no strikes. Bases are loaded in a 9-9 game. Inside, 2-0.
Who says the fans are not into the game?
They just want some strikes. They just want some strikes. 2 balls and 1 strike. Swing and a miss. 2-2. Pretty big rip. To the right side, Sweeney. And he throws it wide, and the Braves will take the lead. They'll score at least 2 runs as the ball is rolling away. And the Braves have come all the way back and have taken an 11-9 lead here in the top of the 9th inning. 8 runs in the last 2 innings. Wow.
Routine ground ball. Sweeney just nice job there. It just pulls the throw.
Yeah, there was nothing that that Brock could do at first.
Very similar to the play he had on the double play ball that Crawford threw to him and tried to complete that double play.
Up high, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. Sweeney will get another chance. Makes the play. 9 men come to the plate in this 9th inning, but the Braves score 4 more runs. They have 8 runs in the last 2 innings, and they have taken the lead as we go to the bottom of the 9th. It's 11-9 Atlanta. We go to the bottom of the 9th inning. The Phillies, who at one point were on top of this one 9-3, have given up 8 runs in the last 2 innings. And the Braves now have the lead, and Jason Hirsch will take over out on the mound. There were a lot of things that were done very well by the Phillies early on in this game. Actually, for the first, what would you guys say, 5 innings?
Yep.
At least 5. Well, actually, look, we can even go 6 or 7.
No, we can go 7.
And then the last 2 innings, things have kind of unraveled defensively, but also out on the mound with some command by the relievers. A smile from that little guy will make everything a little better. So here is Hirsch. And Hirsch will face Roman Quinn to start things off. Hirsch out of Oklahoma State, first-round pick by the Braves in 2013. Last year he pitched at 2 different levels, and you saw his numbers. Well, combined, he had a 5.64 ERA. 34 games, 15 starts. As Roman takes a strike, and it's no balls and 2 strikes. He's a good speed due up with Roman Quinn, David Lowe.
Said Roman Quinn's home run yesterday was a bomb in New York. Straightaway center. Little fella got some pop.
He swings through that pitch and is down on strikes to start the bottom of the 9th inning. Away. And David Lowe is coming up. David Lowe's had a pretty good day. He's walked his first 2 times up, scored a run, singled and drove in a run in the 4th inning. Grounded out his last time. Trying to get on base to bring the tying run to the plate. An 11-9 Braves lead. Well, this Sunday we'll be back on Comcast Sportsnet when the Phillies take on the Yankees. We'll be on the air at 1 o'clock. First pitch scheduled for about 1:05. 1 ball and 1 strike to Lowe. to shortstop. And there are 2 outs. J.P. Crawford is coming up. Well, the Phillies had Jeremy Hellickson start today, and Hellickson went 2 innings, allowed 1 earned run, no walks, 5 strikeouts. He allowed 2 hits. Those were the first 2 batters that he faced. After that, Andrew Bailey pitched a scoreless 3rd inning. At that point, all those folks were up on their feet. But then the rest of the Phillies bullpen contributed 8 walks in 6 innings. Here's J.P. Crawford. No balls and 1 strike to Crawford. And it's 1-1. To the right side, and then he'll get through. And J.P. Crawford is aboard with a 2-out single. All right, it means the Phillies will bring the tying run to the plate. Brock Stassi will get a chance to bat. He has a base hit today. Brock is 1 for 2. He came on for Ryan Howard.
On the line, yeah, you go. On the line, there, you're fine.
I find it interesting that you can hear them yell and guard the line at first base, but they have the big shift on. The whole left side of the infield's wide open.
It's kind of. I wonder if they do that against just left-handers as a general. I don't remember it being early in this game to have that scouting report on Stassi.
They had him earlier. When the base hit, he had the right field.
Yeah,
he beat the shift on a hard ground ball hit.
Well, the thing is, you want the first baseman on the line. That's okay if you're left-handed, but if you're right-handed, it's easier just to get to that line. You don't need to be as close to the line.
Probably take another step over. You're
exactly.
Right. There's a line drive, base hit it to right field. They're playing no doubles, and Crawford will stop at 3rd, and Stassi stops at 1st. So that means the Phils have the tying runs aboard, and they bring the winning run to the plate here in the 9th inning. I think it's easy to see these last couple at bats that Stassi does have a pretty good swing.
Flat out hit. His approach. He's got that great leg kick right there. All that timing. Stays back, head down. Love it. That's how you beat a shift.
Yeah. He's a howitzer to right. That's how you beat the shift.
And he was about a 1/4 inch away from hitting Interstate 19 or Highway 19 with that ball.
Let's see if Cedric Hunter can save the day here. 0 for 3. He walked his first time up, popped out to the catcher twice, and struck out. His timing's a little off, at least it seems that way, but watching him BP, he does have a pretty good swing.
A lot of movement with the barrel of that bat.
Who does he remind you of?
Randall Simon.
Tony Phillips?
Yeah, a little bit.
Popped him up again. This one should get out of play and into the Phillies dugout. The late Tony Phillips just passed away.
Terrible.
You have that much movement, you have to still make sure you get that foot down. That was a good pitch to hit. He just didn't have that foot down, and didn't get his bat back to where he needed it to be.
1 ball and 1 strike. Check swing. Did he go? Yes. Is Dan Iasonia. Well, that was really close. There was a lot of intent there, but it looked like he may have held up. 1 and 2 now to Cedric. In the air to right field. Towering shot. Going back on it is Tuiasa Sopo. It is gone! Game-winning home run for Cedric Hunter. After all of that, the Phils erase a 2-run deficit, and they win it by a final score of 12-11 here in the bottom of the 9th inning.
That is some 2-out lightning.
Well, you talk about you want to get in that situation, you have a hanging slider to hit. What happens then when they hang it?
We bang it.
Very nice. Good for him.
8 walks by the bullpen. 8 runs for the Braves in the last 2 innings. But no matter. The Phillies score 3 in the 9th, and Cedric Hunter is able to come up with a game-winning swing against his former club. And the Phils walk away with a 12-11 victory. The game just isn't that easy, is it, boys?
Simple game. He wasn't even supposed to start today. He didn't even start today. He came in for Altera's little injury in his wrist.
Yep.
Struggles his first 3 at-bats, and what happens?
Well, W.B. Mason delivery of the game. Speaking of that walk-off, here it is.
Check swing before, which he did not check. Goes back. Change-up.
Change-up.
He gets it up into that wind to right field. I don't think he needed any wind on that.
Where that
ball is murdered. Now that's called getting your foot down, getting an extension through the baseball, which he had not done a couple pitches before that. And that is your W.B. Mason delivery of the game. And he is with our very own Greg Murphy.
He was about to get wet.
Yeah. Oh, we're starting early.
Way to be prepared,
I tried
Murph.
to give you the heads up, Murph.
Murph, how's that chicken wing, Murph?
Well, yeah, that's a first for me. I wonder if it's a first for you. Hey, you know what? Leave him happy, right? I think you knew you got all of that when you took that swing, did you not?
I just tried to shorten up. You know, I've been popping the ball up the whole game, and just told myself to just trust myself and just see it and hit it. Just stay short, try to get the next guy up there, and went over the wall.
That water's cold, by the way. That is really cold. You know, it is just spring training, and that's what you just kind of said that it's spring training. But getting those winning ways and starting to get into that habit, no matter who you are, is always a good thing.
It's a great chemistry on this team. You know, we're really starting to bond. You know, a lot of new guys in here, but everybody's gelling together. It's a great young team, and I'm excited for this organization.
I know you're excited. You're also shivering, so I'm going to let you go. Nice job. Way to leave him happy today, Cedric, with the walk-off. Guys, we'll send it back upstairs.
All right, Murph, we appreciate that. We'll get you a towel. We'll get you a jacket. We'll get you anything to keep you warm. Here's Cedric Hunter with a beautiful swing. Got the foot down, and he sends everybody home happy. Pretty good way to finish up a spring training afternoon.